Hello there everybody, John Compton here, and today I am talking with the superintendent of the Lisle School District, Martin Huffman, and Martin also helped spearhead a recent second grade safari that took place here in the Gorge, and so he's on the show to tell us a bit about that event. So Martin, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. What's the second grade safari?
It's kind of a brainstorm that happened during winter break. John Schreiner called me up. I've known him for probably 15 years, ever since I moved here, and wanted to show me a new giraffe. Had just been born in November. So he's, "You got any kids at home?" And I go, "Yeah, I got one. You know, I've got 4 kids, but one of them was home with his girlfriend." So we ran out and saw the giraffe, and we played with the wallaroos and petted some camels, and then talked a little bit about kids. And he's really interested in what schools do, and he's interested in kids and how they think, and exposing them to lots of different things. So we had a fun afternoon just doing that. And then he calls me up later. "What do you think about this?" And I told him, because we have taken a couple of classes there before, and he likes to talk to the kids, that he wanted to do something a little bit bigger. And I said, "Well, why don't we get a little bigger group together and have a kind of a day, okay?" So he said, "Okay, we'll do that." And so I said, "Well, we'll invite Wishram School. And how many kids are in there?" I said, "Well, there's not very many." "Well, what about Klickitat?" That'll be fine. And so, but you know, Goldendale's not that far. And so then one thing led to another. One day we had 16 phone calls back and forth, trying to put
between
bam,
you
bam,
and him?
bam, bam, yeah.
Wow.
And we're going, "John, let's go to dinner." Okay. So why don't we just invite all the second grade? And we picked the second graders because, you know, people say, "Why didn't you pick the first graders? Why didn't you pick the third graders?" We just picked them because they're a good age group, you know. It wasn't real scientific. So we decided that all the second graders in Klickitat County should come.
Okay, so it was the entire county?
The entire county, all the second graders in Klickitat County should come, which sounded pretty good over dinner. and then I got to work the next day, and I asked Rosalie, my secretary, and Gail, some secretary out of Dallesport, "How many second graders are in Klickitat County? I really don't know." So she called all the schools in Klickitat County. There's 227 second graders in Klickitat County.
Really?
That's a sizable field trip for
Yeah.
one day. So, and we're used to working with a little smaller numbers.
Yeah.
So we started on that in January, and added a few things. And the first idea was just to bring a fire truck up, and maybe the sheriff, and let them see the animals and the fire truck, and talk to the sheriff, and, you know, give them a pencil and a little fire cap and whatever, and we'll just have a fun day, and feed a giraffe and do some things like that and talk to them. And the focus was on safety and the people that take care of you. It wasn't on the animals. The animals are used to get their eyes open.
Okay.
We want to get their eyes open. I mean, you see a giraffe, your eyes are going to be open. You pet a giraffe and see that foot-long, 18-inch purple tongue come out, and get that leaf or whatever you're feeding them out of your hand, your eyes are wide open.
Yeah.
You know? And then you go talk to the firemen and the sheriff and all this stuff. And
Got their interest
great.
all perked up now.
Yeah.
And
you
so.
know, and they want to see what's a fireman look like. You wake up in the middle of the night and there's a spaceman monster in your room. You don't run and hide in the closet, because it's
a good guy.
It's the good guy.
Yeah.
He's there to help you. So,
yeah.
And if you know that in second grade, that carries on.
Sure.
So, and we picked May 14th, second Friday in May. Hopefully, we'll do it again. People got excited. So, and we want to call that Second Grade Safari Day.
Second grade safari day.
Right. And it just came up, conversations with Principal Phil Williams and John and I, and John's brother Joe. They do a wonderful job at the ranch taking care of those animals. You know, people go up there and say, you know, when I die and come back, I want to be one of John's animals. You know, 'cause you couldn't get any better care up there. And all the firemen and the policemen and the trauma nurses and all of those folks, the children's services, jumped right in. The ambulance people, Skyline Hospital. Oh yeah, this is great, because everybody's got, like, there's a fire awareness week, there's the policeman week, there's this week and that day.
Yeah.
But if we thought, let's combine them together, they can just plan on it, and you can have this event that is just kind of cool for kids.
Right. Yeah. Very unique experience. It's
right.
not, and it's not like going to the zoo either, which we'll talk a bit more about that.
Right.
You know, it's much more accessible than what most people would experience.
Right. It's
at
a
the
little
zoo.
closer. It's a lot closer. You know, you're going to get, there's a fence there, and they're fencing. You know, that's just to keep the animals in, not the humans out.
Yeah.
And they have to. They're worked with every day with all the handlers on the ranch. So.
Right, right. Well, we'll talk more about in the next segment about how the day actually started out, because I believe it didn't actually start out at the Shriners Farm. It started out at Horse Thief, is that correct?
Well, I'll explain that, yeah, too, because
Okay.
it actually did start at both places.
Oh, okay.
Remember, we had 227 second graders.
So, okay, so we'll talk about that. So, all right, well, when we return, we're going to talk about how do you coordinate an event for 227 second graders for a safari in the Gorge. That's what we're talking about here on Localite. We'll be right back.